Welcome back, everybody, to the From the Bench podcast. As always, I'm your host, Eric, and with me is Trevor.
Just shaking.
There we go. See, Trevor's here. He's excited.
Pumped. Just thrilled.
Even though we had a terrible week last week for our predictions.
It wasn't good.
No. We'll get.
Can't win them all, homie.
No.
How about those Browns? That was a hell of a pick. They put up 7 points.
We had quite the few picks last week
7 points.
that were not good. We are not experts, and this is pretty much
Suck
evident.
on that, Manziel.
It's not Manziel anymore, Trevor. It's Baker Mayfield. Manziel was like 4 quarterbacks ago.
But you could have fooled me, okay?
They
May as
all
well have been.
looked the same.
Same result, homie.
It definitely was the same results. So this week, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about some more free agency for the NHL. Just talk about a couple of guys, where they went, got their numbers written down. Obviously, there's not as many happening now. You know, you have a lot of it's re-signings with teams. You know, guys that tried to play the field and then said, "Oh, screw it, I'm going to go back to my team." Couple guys that changed teams. A big one for Trevor. Might be a jumbo one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Big Joe.
Then we're going to get into a couple other things, and then especially the football season. Highlight a couple of games from last week. Some that we were wrong, some that were just good games. And then obviously my team, the Chargers, they didn't play, but the Patriots did. So we'll get Trevor's opinion on that in a bit. Not the happiest man after last Sunday, let's just put it that way. And then, as always, we're going to get into picking, the actual games this week. We're going to give our predictions and see if we can make out a little better than last week. So to start it off, though, big signing, obviously, and I already kind of alluded to this one. It is Joe Thornton, Jumbo Joe. He's making his way over to Toronto, and he's going to be the newest Maple Leaf.
He's definitely playing third line center. I don't know. We're definitely a lot. Our bottom 6 this year, they definitely turned over the roster. And like Dubas said, and we're definitely a lot bigger now. That's for goddamn sure. A lot more experience. So we'll see how it goes. Like, he's not going to come in and score, 20 goals, but that whole team was horrible last year. So I'm sure he'll do a little bit better, maybe point wise. Hard to say. Maybe he'll play. Maybe it'll be interesting to see who he plays with, to be honest. I'm just hoping they don't put him and Jason Spetz on the same line, like on the 4th line with Simmons. That'd be the slowest line in the NHL. Hands down.
That would not be good. They could pass the puck back and forth like nobody else.
If they got the puck.
This is true. No, I think this is what you have to do now that you are the Maple Leafs. You don't have that choice, right? You don't have you can't go get the $3 million guy or the $4 million guy. That's not what you're able to do anymore. That's just not.
I just feel like, I'm just hoping in him and that Joe Thornton and Jason Spetz aren't the same guy. Get what I mean there?
No, I understand that for sure.
So it'll be interesting to see. I got faith in it, and having veterans in the room, and they just do things the right way. They want to win and see the potential in the Leafs, the young core. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out, and I'm looking forward to it.
There are 2 guys, too, in Jumbo Joe and Spezza that have never won a cup. That would really highlight.
So they're hungry.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that you want to have the team, too, that the team's out there battling, hopefully to get to the point that they can say, like, look, it'd be amazing if we could get Joe Thornton his cup, right? One of the greatest passers of all time, one of the greatest players of all time, right? With the way he's played the game. And yeah, just like nice to see that guy finally raise a cup after all these years.
Keep these young guys accountable and keep them working, show them how to be a professional. Gonna want it every night, Eric. You got to show up every night. Put the work boots on and there with a hard hat. You know what I'm saying? Be a professional.
Know what you're saying. Second part for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they re-sign Ilya Mikheyev to 2 years, $1.645 million per year. And Trevor kind of watched him. Obviously, Trevor's our resident Leaf fan, so he sees these guys a little more than I do. And what did you think about the way he played last year?
Really liked him, but I think he got a little more than he deserved because, honestly, he didn't play 82 games. He got hurt. He had that. I was actually watching the game because I told you about it. I actually messaged you as soon as it happened, but he was in New Jersey. Toronto was in New Jersey, and unfortunately he was a victim of a random skate coming up and catching his wrist, and it was exposed, and a laceration occurred. So, and he was bleeding pretty heavily. Thank God they were right on it right away, and he ended up being okay. So, and they fixed him up, but he was hot when he actually got hurt and stuff, and he was on fire. And I like the player. I think there's more there potentially. He's got a little bit of grind to his game, which I appreciate. You know, he's not the biggest guy, but he's not afraid to go into the corner and get the puck. But it's one of those things with Toronto. It's just I wish Dupus was just a little harder on these guys. If he could have got him, you know what I mean, just a little cheaper. But it is what it is, and we'll see how it works out.
And at least with this, it's a short-term deal.
Yeah, it's only 2 years.
So with this, you're not talking like a big long-term, big long contract. It's not for big money. And once again, this is when you have $40 million into 4 guys. This is what you have to do, right? You have to get some guys.
Yes, sir.
That are making.
It was coming.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get some guys, under that $2-3 million mark to round out your roster to make the best of it, right? So keeping with this time, we're going to move over to Boston. We haven't really talked a whole lot of Boston on here.
Nobody likes Boston.
Trevor's a little angry. He still sees visions of Chara and Lucic and all these other guys in his nightmares from playoffs past.
What a bunch of bums.
They re-signed Matt Grzelcyk to a 4-year, $3.68 million contract. Good player. I think it's a fair deal, right? Once again, I kind of like this for a younger guy. He's not getting a crazy amount right off the get-go. He's getting a fair deal, but he's not talking 6, 7, 8, 9 million. So what do you think about that, Trevor? Did you watch much of him last year? Or?
Yeah, here's a guy who's getting an opportunity too, right, to go up the lineup a little bit now that Torrey Krug went to St. Louis. So, here's a guy, he sees a little bit of an opportunity, and I'm pretty sure they must have told him that there's more ice time there for him now. I think it works out really great for both sides here. Boston, they're known for their getting away with some great deals, and actually this is kind of the time to do it because a lot of players are just looking for security with the covert going on and the flat cap and stuff. They're just grateful to have a job and make a little bit of money here. I think over the next couple of years. So I think I like the signing for both parties, for sure.
Yeah, this will be his 4th year. The guy's 26 years old. He's a Boston native, right? He's out of Charleston. He's 4 goals, 17 assists, 21 points last year. The season before, he had 3 goals for 15 and a 15 assists for 18 points. So he's getting better, right? That's what you want to see. And obviously they got to fill that hole, now that Torrey Krug's gone. And they can afford to pay him because Torrey Krug is gone, right? So it's just another one. Sticking on the blue line, this one is not a young guy. This is a guy that's obviously older, known for his shot blocking, and it is one Chris Russell. He goes to Edmonton. He's going to get a 1-year, $1.25 million contract. And I think just it's nice to have a veteran. It's nice guy. Now, is he going to be your first line defense pairing? Probably not. Should he be on your second line? Probably not. But if he's a third line defense pairing, that's fine, right? Veteran guy, knows what he's doing.
He's been in the league a long time. He's played for Edmonton. He's done well for them, but it's just one of those things. Getting a little bit older, been banged up the last couple of years, and I like the signing though, especially for what they got him for. And again, that's one of those things where I like it for both parties. So
yeah, he's
good on them.
He's 33 years old now. Had 9 assists. He's never really put up points. He had a couple of years with the Flames way back when that he had
more of a
29, 34. Guy. But everyone knows him for his shot blocking more than anything.
Shot blocking, physical, hard to play against.
Yeah, so nice to see. Like I said, not a big guy by any stretch. He's only 5'10". But he's just plays that hard defensive status. So next one, and he's actually on the TV right now. We're both watching it. It is one Mr. Connor Brown for the Ottawa Senators. He gets re-signed to a 3-year, $3.6 million contract. Still a young guy. They were just talking about how he's most active games in a row. So he's a guy. He's dependable. He's going to stay in the lineup. Hopefully, he's still only 26 years old, so he's not an old guy by any stretch.
Good in all 3 zones. Can score. Can play. He can play it any ways you want it. Really, he's got more skill than people realize. More finish, and he does it the right way. Another guy who just leads by example and puts his hard hat and his work boots on. I love him to death. Wish he's still in blue and white, but
yeah, I was gonna say Trevor obviously would have got to see him for quite a few years over there with Toronto. He had some good years: 36 points, 28 points, 29 points. So last year was his first year as a Senator. Put up 43 points in a expanded role, and they're expecting big things out of him. Obviously, they're going to pay him $3.6 million. So I think they're hoping that he's just starting to scratch the surface and see what they can get out of him. Played a lot of things. So next one, Jake Virtanen for Vancouver. Now he's a guy that's
18 goals and 18 assists, and he got quite a raise for that. Like, honestly.
Yeah,
a little too much for my taste, but whatever.
You get 2 years, 2.5, 2.55 per year. It's another thing, right? I think they didn't want to give him a big, long contract because they got a couple guys coming up over the next little bit, right? You got Pettersson.
Because they paid bottom 6 guys that they shouldn't have paid.
Well, they're still stuck with that. Every time I go to talk with this guy, and every time I forget his name.
You're talking about Louis Eriksson?
Yeah, that one, Louis Eriksson. God, that is a terrible.
I don't
contract.
understand how they refuse to buy them out. Like, buy them out. Like, come on, are they that cheap in Vancouver? Is Vancouver's owner that cheap, or is it a committee? I don't even know who owns that team, but
I don't know. I think
get your shit together.
Maybe they're just like, we can stay under the cap still. We're not. They've never been. I don't think they haven't been a team that's paid right up against the cap for a little bit. And I think they understand that they're probably a couple years away. I don't think they're expecting to really contest and really challenge for that Stanley Cup this year still.
How do you not pay Tyler Toffoli 4.2 or something? 5? That is ridiculous. Montreal stole them.
$4.25 million. That's what they paid him. I have the sheet from last week too, and he was on there. Next one, Dallas. They signed one of their young guys, Denis Gurianov. He re-signed for 2 years, 2.55, so the exact same as Jake Virtanen. He really came out in the playoffs this year. I'm pretty sure didn't he have like 4 points in the game against Calgary? 4 goals against Calgary in the playoffs, I think is what it was. And then he had a couple other good games, but drafted by the Stars, came up through their system. He had 29 points this year, 20 goals. So he's more of a goal scorer than he is, a playmaker or anything else. Just put the puck on his stick and see what, you get. He's never, to be honest, looking through the stats through the AHL and stuff, he was always kind of close to, passing, shooting, the assists and the goals.
Assists and goals are pretty close.
Yeah, but this year he doubled them. 20 goals, 9 assists in 64 games.
Took a big leap.
Yeah, so which is good. Like I said, another young guy. This guy you're talking, he's 23 years old, so he's still super young.
Oh, I'd say.
So it's like I said, it's nice to see some of those guys, take the small deal. He'll still I think at that point he'll still be a restricted free agent when it's all said and done, and give you a little more idea at that point too of what you're going to get for a player and how he's matured at that point, right? So the last one that I had on here, Dmitry Kulikov, the defenseman, the former Winnipeg Jet. This guy goes and gets paid 1 year, $1.15 million with the Devils. So the Devils making moves. He's kind of bounced around. He was with Florida, went to Buffalo, went to Winnipeg, and he's kind of just that third pairing defenseman. 29 years old, he's 6'1". He's only
sandpaper.
Yeah,
he plays a physical style.
Yeah, I think that's just his style, right? He's never going to be that big playmaker, but put him on the penalty kill, put him on that third line, and call it a day.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that he didn't end up back in Winnipeg. So I was really kind of shocked about that. But Kevin Cheveldayoff is quietly one of the best GMs in the league. That's just my opinion. People don't get excited. I just liked how he goes about his business. They're in a market where they can't really draw a lot of free agencies or free agent people because Winnipeg kind of it's horrible in the winter. Let's be honest. And
you went and watched a great cup.
It's not like you're in Florida or anything.
No, man,
you know what I mean.
That great cup we went to was so cold.
That was sick though. It was really fun.
It was actually pretty good because the section
that was still my favorite.
It was sunny the whole time right on us. So even though it was like minus 50 out, because the sun was shining on us, and we obviously had to wear lots of layers, but at the end of the day, we were actually still pretty warm from all that stuff. So it was
minus 40.
Oh, it was not fun.
Let's just say, people, it's like this. I had to get up to go use the bathroom to go pee. I had to pee. So this is the fourth quarter. So I go up there and so you walk in and the heaters are cranked in the bathroom. This is a scenario. So as soon as the hot hits you and you start to unthaw, I had no problem peeing. Let me tell you, it was a crazy line, but man, I was in and out. It was awesome. So there's no, I wasn't pee shy. That's all I'm going to say. But that was an awesome time. Like I went to 2 Grey Cups, and I also went to a couple years ago. I went to Edmonton when it was there, and Winnipeg by far was my favorite.
That Winnipeg, well, that's because I was there. First off, let's put that out there.
Eric was there.
It was. Trevor was not. That was a drunk fest right there. That was
a 5-day just getting at it.
We got to Sunday, and Sunday was like for the Grey Cup, and it was like we're not even looking at liquor because this is our livers could not handle anymore. At one point, Trevor and I shared a room, and one of the people that came with us, she came in the hotel room, Cody's wife Melissa, and she started standing there, just pacing back and forth. And Trevor's like, "You got to stop moving because I'm about to get sick from watching."
She was giving me motion sickness, and I kid you not, like I was violently ill, like maybe 5 minutes before she and Cody bursted in the room, and then she starts pacing back and forth. And I'm telling you, it was not good, people. I come out, it was so violent. I come out that Eric woke up. He's like, "How you feeling?" I said, "A lot better now."
Yeah.
That's why you don't have like 6 different kind of wings right there.
Yeah, the wings were the issue. No, I think it was the 6 different kinds of liquor that probably made more
we got on it that night, the first night there. What a rookie mistake.
Oh.
Well, to get on it, but just get so aggressive, like it's ridiculous. But it was good memories, right?
We'll blame BK. So
definitely.
Keeping with we'll go over. We don't usually talk about this, but I thought with Trevor we would, and it's the World Series. Obviously, it's going on. It's now tied 2-2. Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers go out and win Game 1 8-3, and then last night the Rays won. I think it was 6-4. And baseball is one of those sports where it's so odd, but literally the Dodgers have the 3rd highest, salary
payroll. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like in the league. And
what is it, 103 or something like that?
Oh, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
And then the Tampa Bay Rays,
28 something.
Like 28, 29. So like they're the bottom of the barrel. And it's just one of those things. It's like holy, like.
But Tampa's a small budget team. That's why I've always had.
And they've always done that.
Yeah, I've always had respect for them. So like, basically, they'll bring up these young guys. They'll become studs like stars, and they got to trade them. Really, when they're just getting started, because like they can't afford them. Like once their big contract comes up, they're screwed. So they trade them away. But they do a really good job getting other guys. Like they're one of the best teams when it comes to trades. They always find new players, new stars.
Yeah, and a lot of times I thought it was the old Madden, the coach there. I remember when he got fired, I was like, how do you fire this guy? You pay, you're the bottom of the barrel for salaries every season. And the guy brings
one of the best
playoffs.
managers ever.
But it just
one of my
faves,
mind. Anyways,
but who do you got, Trevor? Obviously, there's it's pretty much an even. It's a 5-game series at this point, and just want to know: do you get the underdogs? Do you get the Rays, or do you get?
God, like I've always wanted to see the Dodgers win. Like I used to be a big fan of the Dodgers years ago, but like I just you got to go for the Rays here, man. I think
give the old Cinderella story. Yeah, I think
they've been good all year though. The Rays.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. And they beat the Astros, so you just got to thank them for beating those.
You kidding me? It's too bad the Astros didn't get in. That would have been wicked. It would have been just awesome if they won this year.
I hope somebody pitches at their head. I can't believe everyone got gun shy this year when Joe Kelly got suspended for his, antics or whatever. And I was like, you should have gave the guy a medal, for God's sakes. But yeah, no, I want to touch on it real quick. Obviously, it's a big sporting event going on right now. Baseball as a whole this year was odd. I don't know. I know it was only 60 games. That doesn't help.
I liked it,
but it was just I never really got into baseball this year.
You did it all, man. I was too busy with the hockey, football, basketball going on, playoffs, buddy.
Well, I think that was the other thing, right? You have the playoffs of 2 other major sports going on during a season when we're so used to with baseball that we get into the summer and there's nothing else, right? Hockey's done. Basketball's done, everything's done, and then you just have a couple months of baseball. So you kind of have that time to get into it. To me, it's never really made sense of why basketball is not played in the summer. Maybe it's just because the guys want their vacation time, but it just makes sense that as a marketing as a whole, you'd have baseball being played, especially where so many teams are up north and they have winters and stuff. Why are you playing basketball when all the courts, outside courts, kids can't just go out and shoot a basketball in February outside. Like, you'd have to be like in a gym somewhere to do it. So
Correct.
it's just weird. I don't know. Maybe
I get what you're saying.
Maybe basketball moves that. It'd be hard to tell all the guys, hey, look, you're not going to get your summers off every year anymore. You're going to have to, you're going to get off and you're going to have November, December, January, and February off or something like that. I don't think they'd be too happy about it. So
they're talking about changing hockey, about starting up a little bit later on, and it being the norm or whatever, so that way they wouldn't have to compete with so much going on, which I thought was kind of a good idea. What did you think about that?
I don't know if I'd change hockey. I don't know, maybe like in November.
I get what you're saying.
I don't know if I'd go
it is a winter
longer.
sport.
It is a winter sport, right? So November, yeah, I don't know, maybe November. But then you're talking like you don't want to be playing. Like, some of these rinks have a really hard time with keeping the ice being decent in the playoffs as is, right? So if you're talking, it's even hotter. If you're getting into July for hockey, like, yeah, it's kind of okay for Edmonton, but Edmonton's also not getting the same temperatures as some places down south would be.
No, for sure. And there was no fans in the rinks this year.
Exactly,
so
right. And
they're totally fine, or a lot better.
And it's a newer rink too, right? So they're not talking an older rink, but I don't know. That'd be my main thing. It just kind of, it's odd, but I think I'd keep hockey kind of where it is. And
so you're worried about the quality of play later on, and
100%.
when games actually mean something.
Yeah, that'd be my main issue is just the quality of play with keeping the ice actually good. That'd be the main thing for me. So
for sure.
Moving on, couldn't wait for baseball, basketball, hockey. That's all in the back. That's all
the back burner.
They're all in the back burner. We don't really care. It's football.
We care, okay? I don't know if he doesn't care. I care, okay, people. I care. It's the off season. There's never a dull moment in sports, okay?
Colorado signed all their guys. I'm good now.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
We're gonna move on to football though, and we're gonna start with the Broncos and the Patriots game last week. And I want to get Trevor's opinion on this and what went wrong.
I'll tell you what went wrong. In 2 weeks, New England had one practice and a walkthrough for their other one. So they essentially didn't get to practice. I think they did pretty good considering. The defense held up pretty good. Like, at the end, they had a chance to win. The offense was not so good, unfortunately. Offense got to do with reps, and was the same with defense, but the timing and everything else, and it just, you could tell that Cam hasn't taken a snap in a couple of weeks, and he had, his at least he's good health again, and we'll be back. It's unfortunate we had to lose that game because we got some dandies coming up, and especially two clashes with Buffalo, which are not going to be easy, but that's life in the NFL. And right now, I read earlier today, that Oakland's whole offensive line's on covert list, so that should be very interesting. They moved the game to Sunday around 4 Eastern, I believe. So that's going to be interesting if those guys can't shoot up for them, like the whole offensive line. Could you imagine?
No, the Raiders game got moved to 9:00. It's a late game for
Sunday.
Yeah.
They're pretty much going to be without their whole offensive line.
Anyways, what would you think about, like, I heard, like, I didn't watch the game.
Oh, totally. I totally got away from the New England game,
yes,
didn't I?
See, Trevor's trying to block it out of his memory.
I don't know. Like, honestly, like, on defense, they played really good. There were some missed tackles, so you could tell, but on offense, like I said, like, you can tell they didn't get practices in. It's all about timing and stuff with the offense, and it wasn't good, man. They couldn't get any blocks. I know there's a lot of guys out, and there's some guys missing on that offensive line, which are, two of them are coming back, so they're going to get help this week, but it is what it is. But all I can tell you is the players were very disappointed they lost the game, but they were really praising Belichick on how he was not worried about the game. He was more worried about their health, which I think's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? It shows that he actually gives a shit about his guys. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate. I thought, everybody laid it out on the line there. Cam tried really hard. Didn't go his way, and just not only Cam, just every position. Like, there were some drop balls for the wide receivers, like the tight end Izzo dropped a couple balls each that should have, like, right in his numbers. Normally stuff that doesn't happen with us, but that's why they play 16 games, man. It's a marathon, and shit happens when you party naked.
Shit does happen when you party naked. I know Drew Lock didn't have a great game either. It was just kind of one of those.
Good to see him back, though.
Yeah, it was nice to see him, but I think they were kind of trying to limit him as much as possible and just not trying to get him killed out there after he's kind of come back probably too early. Let's be honest. The next one, the Packers and the Bucks. we both had. So the last game, we got that one totally wrong. We bet the Patriots. I think we laughed at the Broncos. Didn't matter who was playing for quarterback. We also both picked the Packers after the Bucs lost to the Bears.
Oh, what I was thinking there.
I was thinking Aaron Rodgers and them were really good. And that was my main thought
Let
process.
me tell you, they're not as good as we thought they were. Everybody thought they were.
I think if they played not like 10 times, I think the Packers win 7 of the 10 times. I really do. I think what happened was Rodgers has a weird throw. They were driving. They get up 10-0. They're driving down the field again. A couple nice catches. He has one pick six, on an out route to Adams, and he gets picked, and they, go down for pick six. And then he goes out the next drive, and he throws one pass. It's good. Next pass, it goes off the hands of Adams, and then tips right over to a defender, and he gets picked off again. And I just feel like
their defense took, like the Bucs defense though, like just took over that game.
Yeah, and
they're a little bit better than I really give them credit for. The Bucs, like they got good backers. Their secondary is a lot better than I thought, but like you said, one of them was like it was a tip, and then he was a little late on that out route, and unfortunately it was picked. That's how it goes in the NFL. Like we seen what Brady wasn't the week before Brady did that.
Yeah, and it
was the week before that or the week before that.
Everyone built this up as it's Rodgers versus Brady, and they combined for a grand total of like 325 yards or something like that.
It was definitely not Rodgers' good game.
It was 100. Both of them had like under 170 yards passing between Brady and Rodgers. So not what you expect when you hear those two names. You're expecting obviously some big passing numbers out of both of them. It just never really came.
Gronk had a sick game.
Gronk did have the first real Gronk sighting of the season. And
first Buck touchdown.
Yeah.
Good to see him in the end zone, though. That's all I'll say that. And good to see him get multiple catches. He's nicked up, but it was awesome just to see he kind of looked vintage. As a Patriots fan, it was good to see him do well. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and the Bucs as a whole, so you have Barrett, and he's out there. He was putting pressure on the whole team, right? Sue, everybody. Really putting pressure over there on Aaron Rodgers. And Bakhtiari, he goes out the right tackle. He's right tackle, right? I think he's right tackle.
Sorry, who was that?
Bakhtiari, the defensive lineman.
I think so.
Yeah, so he goes out. That you throw in another guy. As soon as you take out an all-pro, one of the best tackles in all of football, you take him out of the mix. Obviously, you're going to run into some more issues. But, yeah, I don't know. I thought the Packers, I felt like the team as a whole kind of gave up. And as soon as they got behind it, they just got deflated, and they just never really got their whole mojo back, whether it was getting open, whether it was this. I think Tunyon, the tight end, I think he got injured too. So
he did, yeah.
They had a couple injuries throughout the game, and it just didn't seem like Rodgers could get it going, unfortunately. So, I don't know. Another one, once again, not the first time Trevor and I were wrong about a game. Will not be the last. And the last one, this one we were also both wrong. The Falcons. And I think we even might have mentioned, I'm like, I kind of think about the Falcons, new coach.
New coach. We mentioned it, and we for sure did, but that's how it goes. And we also, we might not have mentioned the Falcons. I think we were talking about Houston the week before, where we both went against Houston, and then I stated, well, don't sleep on them because the whole coach change and la-di-da-di-da, and heaven behold, Houston goes out and they get it done for Romeo Crennel. So good on them. They're professionals and they get paid and they got pride.
No,
and they hear the chatter.
We both went with the Texans that game because they're playing the Jags that week. So we did go.
Good for us.
Look at us go.
Just killing them.
I think, like I said, the Falcons, I don't know what's wrong. Kirk Cousins looks
tear it down.
Terrible. I know, and we'll get into this in a second, but the Falcons they picked them apart. Kind of were the Falcons that we thought they were going to be, and the Vikings just look terrible. Adam Thielen's good. Other than that offense is not great. Dalvin Cook.
Well, Cook's good.
He's good, but I don't know if he even played. I think he was banged up. So
their offensive lines I find funny. Like they're really good run blocking, but they're not like he cannot stand back there for like 3 Mississippis, and he's like they're in the backfield. It doesn't matter who they play. So I find Kurtz just rushing this year. He just doesn't get the time. Maybe that's just my imagination, but just overall, and they let a bunch of veterans go on the defensive side of the ball, and it just looks like the young guys and other guys they thought were going to fill those positions just are not panning out right now.
Yeah, and Jefferson, the young, they traded Stephon Diggs, obviously, They get Jefferson back. Jefferson's played really well. He had a touchdown last week. So
He's had great numbers the last couple of weeks. Crazy numbers.
yeah, they actually decided, hey, look, this guy that was really good in college, we're going to use him finally. It kind of made sense how it works. The Vikings, though, Trevor mentioned, tear it down, tear it down. They haven't quite started tearing the whole thing down yet, but they did.
But I'm just talking about, like Xavier Rhodes, Griffin, defensive end. They let go. Was it Griffin?
Yeah, Emerson
They
Griffin.
still have Hunt, don't they? Or Hunter? Their defensive end?
I can't remember if they have.
He
him.
must be hurt. I'm pretty sure he's still there, but I know Griffin's gone. Xavier Rhodes. These are just examples. Like, they've been there and they've been staples for a long time. And then the Michigan State corner, I'm trying to think of his name. I don't know if he's still there either. Anyways, he was a first-round draft pick. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of change there, and it's just not working out for them right now. I know it's early, but when you get behind in the NFL, if you're 0 or 1-4, it's pretty hard to rally, make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think you stick a fork in them. I think they're done, especially in that
The
division.
Falcons, goddamn right, they're done.
Both of them, the Falcons and the Vikings, I think they're both done.
You know who else sucks? The Jets.
The Jets do suck. The Vikings did, though. They started their little bit of a teardown. They traded defensive end Ngakwe, who they just got this offseason from the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is why they thought they were going to be good this year. And they traded a second and a fifth for him, I believe. And they got back from the Baltimore Ravens, who, they just need more help. Not really. They went and they traded a third and a fifth for this year's draft.
Their defense definitely doesn't need more help, but I like the move for them. Now they got, the best part is they got the two starting defensive ends for the Jags when they went to the AFC Championship game against New England and lost. And should have won that game. Remember that?
Yeah, Calais Campbell, he gets traded too.
Who I made it such a big deal about that. Remember that?
Oh,
It was like my highlight. And Eric's like, do we really going to talk about this? I'm like, dude, he is so good, even though he's been around forever. But he's just a beauty.
It's a constant pro. That's kind of the big thing about him. So, I don't know. Like you said, the rich get richer. The Ravens, they're looking good. And it's nice to see. I've never understood. I don't know how you change it, but it just seems like the football league as a whole, they don't really do a whole lot of trades. You see all these trades in the NHL, even if it's not big trades. You see all these trades in the NFL. You just don't really see it. So
You see it in the NBA too. It's crazy.
yeah, it's just odd. The other big story, and I wanted to get into this. This is in Trevor's division, and it is one Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's played really well this season. The quarterback for the
Really,
Dolphins.
especially of late. Last 3 games?
Yeah, they've done.
And they've been in a lot of close games and lost. They've battled.
No, and he's that's the one thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick is who he is. Is he going to be the greatest quarterback of all time? No, but he's won 3 of the last 4. Are they against great teams? No. They lost to New England. He had a decent game. Yard wise, 3 interceptions. That was not good. Then he goes out and puts 328 yards against Buffalo. They just lose that game. Get 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And that's a good team.
Yeah. Then he goes against Jacksonville, 31-13. Doesn't have to do a whole lot in that game. Next game against the Seahawks. They, really tried to take it to the Seahawks a little bit. Lost 31-23. But he had 315 yards. Then he plays against San Francisco. Everybody had them dead to rights against San Francisco. They're like, this is going to be terrible. Has a good game. And then they obviously go and beat up on the Jets, which the Jets are fucking terrible. So
Garbage.
it is what it is. But he goes out, this year as a whole, played really well, I thought. And 1,500 yards, 10 TDs, 7 interceptions. And that's obviously, more than what you want to see. But he had a record of 3-3. He's looking good.
They're in the hunt, man. New England is below 500 for the first time since 2002.
They're only a game back of Buffalo. Buffalo's now lost 2 in a row. And they go out and they say, look, we're benching you, Ryan Fitzpatrick. They don't even tell Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick found out because his kids' friends found out before he did, because somebody broke the news to whoever it was. Not Adam Schefter. Schefter's still on a ban right now, but somebody leaked it, and that's how he found out, not from anybody else. And then he came out and they had an interview with him, and they kind of said, like, look, man, how do you feel after the recent benching? And he's like, man, I'm heartbroken. You know, I think a lot of guys in that team really liked him. I guess I was watching the Pat McAfee show. Kyle Van Noy, who's obviously another veteran on that team, former Patriot, former
beauty.
Lion, and he came out. I think it was last week or week before. He said, "Look, we understand Tua's going to be the leader of this team in the future. We understand that, but for right now, this is Ryan Fitzpatrick's team, and we love Ryan Fitzpatrick." And a week later, he gets benched. So it's like, okay, well, if the people all love him,
Gets fired.
and now you're benching the guy, like, oh, that's and like, I know Flores came out before and said, look, we're not rushing Tua back. Tua's gonna take his time. You know, I'm thinking of this guy as my son almost type of thing. Like, I wouldn't want to rush him back just for the sake of rushing him back. And then he kind of rushes him back. Now you got to see what the kid has, but if he gets hurt for some reason or has a setback, because obviously he had some pretty major issues.
It was inevitable. Like, you figure they just would have given the keys a little bit later on.
Well, that's the thing, right? And Fitzpatrick,
we're in week what, 7? I'm positive it's week 7.
This is week 7. So Fitzpatrick was going to go back there eventually. Don't get me wrong, and he knows, like, look, I'm not the long-term answer. They drafted this guy 5th overall. It's going to be Tua's time, right? I understand this, but like for right now, I'm playing pretty good. I'm putting us in positions to win. The team's loving it. The team's rolling, and you're just gonna throw the kid in. Like,
it's a very interesting time. It doesn't make any sense there. He got a couple snaps though, because they win 24-0. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he got 2. He had 2 passes for like 9 yards or some shit like that.
They gave him some garbage time there. And now it's his team, so I don't even understand. I don't know. The timing is just off, and like Eric said, they played their best ball really the last couple of weeks, and it showed into some victories and a close loss. So
yeah, you said you're playing against San Francisco, which everybody has you dead to rights.
And they spanked them.
And they spanked.
And I don't give a shit that they're banged up. This is the NFL. Like, everybody's hurt.
Yeah,
we're in week 7. Like, teams are missing good players. This is why you have and this year with the covert, they got like extra spots, and you can actually put veterans on the practice squads, which I really think they should change now and allow that anyways. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
It just helps every team. If you can have a couple more spots and veterans, so when injuries do occur on a regular basis in the NFL, people can come up and they actually know your system. And it's just so much better that way. That means there's better product every Sunday. You know, that's just my opinion, but
no, it makes sense. With him, I just want to ask you one more question about this whole situation.
I just hope Tua doesn't get hurt.
No, and you gotta hope he doesn't at the end of the day. But with Flores, obviously this wasn't his plan to have it leaked to the media the way it did. He wanted to have probably a press conference. He probably wanted to sit down with Ryan Fitzpatrick before and say, look, Ryan, we love what you did. We'd love for you to keep on mentoring this guy. You know, we'd love for you to do all this stuff. And it never got to that point. It got leaked by the media. So obviously there's somebody in Flores' staff that is a mole. And I just want to know what you'd do, Trevor. If you were the coach and you find out, because this is obviously going to cause some turmoil in the locker room, right? Because of this whole situation. Fitzpatrick's not being shy about it. He's coming out about it, blah, blah. Would you, if it was you and one of your coaches leak something like that to the media, would you ever think about firing that guy?
I wouldn't fire him. That's a little harsh. I believe in second chances. Boy, he'd get it'd be not a pleasant conversation. There'd be some words that I wouldn't be so proud of saying to this individual, but it's keep it in house. Be professional about it. Unless you're told to leak it, or and kind of that scenario. Like, come on, keep it in house.
Unless it's your announcement to make, shut your mouth.
Well, it's just whole respect
it's one thing
thing.
if it's an agent or this or that, but it wasn't, because Tua didn't know yet.
So unfortunate.
Fitzpatrick didn't know. So the only people that know are part of that coaching staff. Somebody that he obviously trusts, that he thinks he can release it to. So I don't know. It's just, I think it's a shame. I think it
stinks.
The guy should be disciplined.
Can we not say it stinks?
Yes, I think the guy should be disciplined if they find out who it is, and I'm sure he's going to be chasing it down, trying to find out who it is, because it's kind of terrible that you're just going to cause maybe a rift in your locker room because you couldn't handle it the way you wanted to. But beyond that, we'll leave that at that. For the predictions now, we're right before the Thursday night game. We're going to get this in. Last week, I returned to winning, and I won 7-6 over Trevor. I had 7 correct predictions. Trevor had 6. Suck on that, Trevor.
You grinded one out there, didn't you?
I did, man. We were terrible last week. There's also a lot of gimmies that we had, and we were wrong on a lot of games together. So that's probably half the battle here. But the first game, the Giants and the Eagles, that's actually probably the game that I wanted on last week because I bet the Giants over Washington. Trevor had Washington.
I had Washington.
I just didn't feel great about Washington the way they looked the week before, and I didn't feel great about the Giants. The Giants ended up winning 2019, so it really was anybody's game right to the very end. But the Giants are playing against Carson Wentz in the and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Just simmer it down over there, Haas.
I was looking at the Giants, and I was looking all
trying to steal my lines, where I, accidentally just,
Yeah, Trevor accidentally gets 40 names wrong an episode, but
exactly.
I'm just trying to take that over from him.
I like to keep it real, people. I like to keep it interesting, entertaining. There's a whole entertaining part of it too.
There is. But
so give me Carson. Give me the Eagles, boy.
The Eagles?
Oh, all day. Are you kidding me? I like Daniel Jones, and some plays he's just like, wow. And then there's plays you're just like, wow, you're not ready. But anyways, I'm still a big, huge Wentz fan, and they're far from perfect, and they need a lot of help everywhere. But so does everybody in the NFL, because we're in week 7, boy, and there's people hurt everywhere, in every position on every team.
Welcome to the NFL. This is
exactly
what happens.
So I'm kind of hoping that the Eagles get back on track here. They get another W and climb back in that hunt for their division, because their division's the worst one in football right now.
Yep, Lane Johnson's
Actually,
back,
last couple
which is obviously big. He's one of the best best right tackles in all football, and that's, I think, might be the difference. They still don't have any weapons out there for Carson Wentz. They're talking about Alshon Jeffrey coming back in like a week or two. It's like, wow, that is.
He hasn't even played this year.
Yeah. By the way, he hasn't played in like 2 years.
Deshaun's back in the lineup tonight, they were saying, but they lost. What is it, Sanders, their running back?
Yeah, Miles
Sanders, who I love. He's one of my favorite young running backs, but man, he's good.
Yeah.
That was a steal.
Wait to see. I also am picking the Eagles. I think the Giants, I don't know. I think it's going to be a bad game.
You don't think the Giants are going to go back-to-back here?
No, I don't.
Oh, wouldn't that be a story?
I think it's
Big Blue back-to-back wins. Just 2 in a row. Just mail it in. He's just jumping on the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. I think the Giants should want the Eagles to win too. Hopefully they can get somebody good. They can get like
Trevor Lawrence?
Not Trevor Lawrence. I was thinking, well, yeah, Trevor Lawrence. They can. I don't know.
He's a beauty.
They got 1 win, and that might be one too many wins over the Jets. Let's put it that way. The next game, though, is including the Jets, and that is going to be the Jets versus the Bills. And who do you got, Trevor?
Well, I'm not going with the Jets. Let's be real. I'd like to at least pick them 1 week, but I just can't do it. Come on, Buffalo.
Yeah,
we're not losing 3 games in a row. You're not my team, but come on. As a New England fan, I'd love for them to lose 3 in a row, because then we're climbing in the hunt again. But anyways, we're gonna make the playoffs anyways. Come on, Cam.
I'm going with the Bills too. The Jets are just fucking terrible. Like
the Jets are just, it's not good.
They're not good, and like Joe Flacco's the one obviously out there.
Man, he got walloped last week. Like it wasn't even. It's just not good.
They literally don't have anything left.
It's just
they have to get rid of.
How do you run the team that bad in the ground? Like you should accidentally hit on some draft picks. Like seriously.
Just anything.
Jesus.
I know
let's not even talk about it.
Becton's out there and he's their first round pick, but he was kind of a project at left tackle. He's just a big old boy, but
he just needs a little more seasoning. He's good.
It is what it is.
He's the least of their problems.
I think this one's pretty simple. We said that last week too for a couple of games, but anything including the Jets, I'm going to go.
The Jets are due.
The Jets are due to lose again.
They're horrible.
The next one, another team that is really bad and can't block anything for their quarterback, is the Cincinnati Bengals, and they are playing against the Cleveland Browns, who, rest in peace, the Cleveland Browns, because last week we got destroyed. Both Trevor and I both picked the Cleveland Browns over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Such a rookie mistake.
I didn't think
4 in a row. They had 4 in a row win.
Yeah, I didn't think Baker was going to be that banged up, but he looked it, and then at the end, obviously, they bring in Keenum to take over the end of the game, stop giving him some punishment. But what do you think about the Bengals and the Browns?
This could be where the Bengals sneak one out here, but I'm going to go with my better judgment. I'm just going to say that hopefully Cleveland goes back to what they're really good at on offense, and that's running the ball. And then they can control the clock and do their thing and let Myles Garrett get at that quarterback. So if they get – Cleveland's one of those teams, if they can get out to a lead and run the ball, they're in good shape. If they're chasing the game, they're not in good shape. They're not screwed, but basically it's not the recipe for success for that team.
No.
We need Baker to take another step, I think, but this is a really good offense for him. I like this coach, though. Isn't he just so much better than I'm trying to think of his name. Damn it. Anyways, it doesn't even
Freddie
matter.
Kitchens?
Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, my God.
What a
Like,
terrible-
even just looking at him on TV last year just grinded my gears.
You kind of wondered what the hell they were thinking.
Oh,
no,
God.
Kevin Stefanski's way
just
better.
I'm going to go back. Give me Cleveland. What the hell?
Yeah.
But I really feel like this is a game where the Bengals could, people forget too. This is like they're in each other's division, so you see your division opponent. Even if one team's really bad, like I hate to say this, but the Jets could beat New England. You know how that works.
You never know. Every year.
So I'm just saying. So just keep that in mind, people. So it could be a lot closer than you think. But just give me the goddamn Browns.
No, I'm going with the Browns too. I think Myles Garrett is going to have a field day over there on that terrible offensive line that the Bengals roll out every week, trying to get Joe Burrow's killed out there. The guy's not going to make it to his 25th birthday because of all the hits he's taken here. It's just bad. But yeah, no, I'm also going with the Browns. I think the Bengals are. Yes, Joe Burrow shows some promise. You get
He's
some
not
guys,
the problem.
Boyd and a couple.
But you
other
need a lot
guys.
of help.
Yeah, they need a lot still. Next one, you get the Cowboys, who got whooped last week against the Washington football team. And who do you get, Trevor?
Oh my God, the Cowgirls in Washington. Is this my option? This is a game. It shouldn't even be allowed to put on TV.
There's some bad games here.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put on the
Like,
TVs.
what did Dallas put up last week? 10 points? Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, just let me down. The Red Ginger.
He did not look good. He looked really, really bad all game.
Jesus.
But who do you get?
Give me the Cowgirls.
Yeah, I'm going with Cowboys too. Just because I think the Washington, they tried to throw us off their scent, right? And I think the Jags did this too earlier in the season, where they win one game, or they have a couple close games to start the year, and then they're terrible again for a while.
When reality kicks in is what you're saying?
Yeah, reality kicks in, but in our mind, we're thinking back a couple weeks.
They
and
are
like,
who we thought they were.
Yeah, but in our head, we're thinking, oh, they weren't that bad. I remember last time we were like, I don't really pay attention to them, and
I love Ron
had a
Rivera.
good
That's
run.
why I go with
Yeah.
Washington a lot.
good coach.
And I really like I like the quarterback he brought from I like that. What is it?
Kyle Allen.
Yes, I do. I do like him.
Kyle Allen.
And I think he does have promise.
I think Kyle Allen gets more shutouts on this podcast than probably any other one.
I liked what I saw last year. I don't give a lot of people didn't like him. Well, they won more games with him than Cam Newton.
They were actually playing pretty good.
Fact.
Next one, man, these are terrible games. The Lions of Detroit, they're playing against the Atlanta Falcons. We have to watch 3 of these games, Trevor. Like at least 2 of them, and then
God, give me Detroit all day.
Yeah,
Detroit's. I don't know what's going on there, but
I'm going with the Falcons.
are you really?
Yeah, I am. Because I really don't.
Give me Detroit.
I really don't think the Lions are good, and I hate Matt Patricia. That guy is one terrible football coach. I really like Matthew Stafford. Everybody knows this. And I really like a lot of players on their team. But, yeah, no, I don't know. I just feel like Matt Patricia is a really bad football coach. Now, is, Atlanta good? No, not really. But at the end of the day, I just feel like the Falcons have more potential of pulling out a win over here with all their offensive weapons, whether it's Julio, Ridley, all this other stuff, over the Lions and their Kenny Galladay and a couple other guys.
Are they playing any defense, though?
I don't think it matters. I think they win like 33 to like 24 or 25. Next one, we're talking the Packers and the Texans. This one's actually not too bad, even though the Texans are terrible.
You get the Packers?
Yeah, I'm going Packers.
Who are they playing again? I zoned right
Texans.
out on you. Texans?
I zoned right out too. I'm not going to lie to you.
Crowded. Who's home in this game?
Texans.
You know what? Give me the Texans. I'm feeling the Texans. Hopefully they win 2. Romeo Cornell here. They're gonna go. Hopefully they don't come back down to earth. Hopefully they win one more.
Romeo Cornell.
The Packers though to lose back-to-back games. Whatever. I'll stick with it.
Yeah, I don't know. The Packers, I think they get back to what they do. I think they're a good team, and I'm just going with Packers. I think they're just gonna put a whooping on the Texans. I don't think the Texans are good.
I think it'll be closer than that. I don't think what is that?
That's the new Hummer.
It said GMC on it, did it not?
Yeah, GMC Hummer. Maybe. Yeah, GMC.
That's weird. What?
You didn't see that online?
No, bro. But anyways, yeah, like
ladies and gentlemen, this is the joys of what you get to listen to with.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm just hoping that I don't know. Like I just feel like I didn't like what the Packers look like at all. Like I said though, the odds of them Rodgers team losing back-to-back games, I can't see it happening. But just give me Houston here. Deshaun's looked pretty good. Romeo Cannell's kind of righted the ship. I know it's only 1 week, but we'll see what they got here. Like these guys are professionals and they're not out of it yet. So give me Houston. What the hell? You only live once.
Hey, I'll give you that all day long, and I'll take the Packers. And then when I win this week, you know why? It's because you messed up and you picked the Texans. Next game, it's another divisional game. This is the Panthers. Did we both pick the Panthers last week?
We did.
Man, we were all.
I picked the Panthers first, but you wanted to pick them, so you went with them.
Yeah, because I was going to make that same mistake, and then I made that mistake. The Panthers are playing in New Orleans against the New Orleans Saints. And who do you got?
Give me the Saints, man. You know, like Alvin Kamara. He's my boy. He's just out there, just give him the ball in space. He's just a beauty. Like, he's just an animal. He's just out there, just just chick-a-look, just touchdown machine. God, he's one of my favorites. Just if you have him in fantasy, you're just living the dream, especially in a PBR league. You're just laughing. Let's not even talk about it. But anyways, I'm taking the Saints. Who do you got? Now you're taking the Saints.
I'm also taking the Saints.
See what I mean, people? I knew he was taking the Saints.
Look at this guy.
He knew that I knew that he knew that I knew.
I actually don't even like
the
Saints. I was telling Trevor today, a little bit of fantasy football talk. I'm in a dynasty league, and I just traded Michael Thomas. I got a first-round pick and Cooper Kupp.
Just gave him the boot.
If Shane's listening to me, sorry, Shane, you sent me a bunch of shitty trades nonstop. He was trying to offer me like a first-round pick, but he was also trying to offer me Larry Fitzgerald.
He was lowballing you.
I'm like, look, man, this is
Didn't
not good
Larry
enough.
Fitzgerald get benched?
Larry Fitz is like 142 years old at this point. Great receiver, but
Still
I'm not
sick.
grabbing him in a dynasty league to do anything with. So,
No, I can't now.
anyways, it was just bad. But no, I think the Saints, I think they're just a little bit better of a team. I think it's close, though. I think this is like a 24 to, 17 type of thing. Like, I think it's a closer game than what some people think. But, yeah, I don't know.
The Saints, like, I'm going to cut you off right there for a minute. I'm going to chime in. The Saints haven't played their best ball yet. Like, other than week 1, like, they haven't been really good. Like, their offense hasn't really clicked like we've seen in the last couple of years. And that's a fact. Like, but saying that, here's a team that's got room to grow on both sides of the ball. So defensively, offensively, special teams. Well, let's say all phases. I don't think we've seen the best out of Sean Payton and that coaching staff yet. But it's one of those things. If you can progress as a football team like New England's known to do, like the Ravens, just like a lot of the teams that are consistently in the playoffs, Kansas City, if you can improve week to week, just get a little bit better at what you do, knowing what your systems are, it goes a long ways. Like from week 1 to week 16, if you're progressively getting better, you got the right coaching staff. You know what I mean? If you're kind of vanilla, by that I mean you're just so-so and you're not getting any better, you definitely don't have the right coaching staff in there. That's all I'm going to say.
No, I agree. Next game, this one's actually going to be a really good game, I think. We're talking the Steelers are traveling down to Tennessee. It's 2 and I think they're both unbeaten still, right? So, yeah, battle of unbeaten. Steelers and Titans.
Steelers haven't lost a game? Titans are definitely they're definitely
Steelers haven't no
5-0.
Steelers are undefeated too.
Right on.
So, who do you got? Steelers and Titans. This is a good game. This is
Who's home?
The Titans.
Give me Tennessee. You're gonna take Steelers. Give me Tennessee, boy.
No, I'm gonna take the Titans too.
Are you actually?
Yeah, I am.
We both did this last week against the Steelers, and what happened? We beat our bums burnt.
No,
all I'm gonna say.
I like the Titans. I think they're just gonna run the ball. He's gonna go out, with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. They're just gonna pick it apart little by little here. And I think they just make the right plays, and their defense is good enough. The Steelers' defense is awesome, though. Like, just next worldly.
They're fast as hell.
Yeah, they're just flying around there. I remember I was listening
But they lost Bush.
Yeah.
tore his ACL, I believe.
which is like a huge deal. Like that's one of the big guys over there. Obviously, their front.
First round pick last year, Wolverine, former Wolverine linebacker.
Yep, he was. I don't know.
Get well soon, buddy.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for that, I think the guy. Maybe I go with the Steelers, but for now I'm going to go with the Titans. I think that's to me. I think that's going to be the deciding factors. Bush being out, which is kind of upsetting.
What I like about the Titans is like, I don't even care if Henry's getting 1.5 yards to 2 yards. You pound him because they're get sick of tackling him, and maybe he breaks one in the fourth because that's what he does. Kind of like Marshawn back in the day, what I really like about the Steelers too. So if they can't get the running game going at all, they got Brown back, and so they got Davis and Brown now, both their young receivers. They're both back, and I just like it. And they got how do you say that Titans name? It's not Sharp. Anyways, they got this younger tight end, but he's played a couple years.
Johnny Smith.
Not Smith. It starts with an S though. It is. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It
It
wears 81, I believe. But anyways, he's done a hell of a job getting open, man. He's just been really good. How about Tannehill, eh?
Man,
He just looks like a new man.
well, he had some really good seasons over there with.
No, but he looks better than last year. Like he's like his decision making,
Well,
he's throwing the ball a lot better,
His
more.
numbers last year were like next worldly. Like the guy was.
They were good, but they're better this year.
I know. Like last year, they were literally like historic for the amount of games he played. His run in last year was ridiculous. This year it's even better. I don't think that was a catch at the end. I think, to be honest, I think the Titans should have one loss on the record because I don't think that was actually a catch at the very end of the game. But
It is what it is. We just go with their record.
give them that, right? So, but first Ferkser, is that who you're talking about, Trevor?
Oh, it's like
Or-
SH. Is it SH?
No,
almost like-
there's Swaim.
Must
Jeff
be.
Swaim.
Maybe that's it.
He caught 2 passes for 10 yards last week.
Well, anyways, I like the cat. The cat.
But yeah, no. So I think that'll be probably the game we have on the main TV, just because that's a really good game, and then we'll find something for the other one, and then we'll just have the red zone on probably. Moving on to the afternoon games. So the first one we're going to talk about. The first one starts right at 5:05 our time, 4:05 Eastern time, and that is the Seahawks versus the Cardinals.
Ooh, Seahawks and the Cardinals. I like it. Another division game. Arizona they got back in the win column, so that's exciting. But I'm definitely going with Seattle. You got to I need to have Seattle in this game. It doesn't matter even who's home in this game.
Cardinals.
Oh, really? That's good. I like it. But I'm still taking Seattle.
Yeah, I am too. I think the Cardinals have things. Everyone made a big deal about the pass to himself. I'm putting air quotes up here, people, because it wasn't really it was a fake end around that Kyler Murray kept himself, and he literally just lofted it up literally 3 inches off his hands to himself. And oh my God, Kyler Murray passed. I'm like, that wasn't even impressive. I've done that with the guys playing flag football. This is not impressive that you just threw out the ball and caught it, back at yourself 2 seconds later. So I don't know. I'm going with the Seahawks. I think Russell Wilson's really good. We did talk about the last time they played because they were in a bye last week. The week before though, we kind of said this is that game, right? They always have these games where they just let the other team stay into it. Probably the same situation here. They probably, Arizona's probably right into it in the very end, and the Seahawks probably win by 10 points or something, but they're probably going to give them fits throughout it because they just seem like they don't wake up. And I don't know why that is the way with the Seahawks. They're always so good, and they always just play these terrible, terrible games.
Oh, it is what it is. Seattle's just one of those funny teams where they seem to play all kinds of really close ball games and just come out on the right side of it. So they're doing something right down there. I just can't go against Russell Wilson this year. What he's done so far has just been unreal. That whole team, their whole offense as a unit, their defense just seems to make enough plays to get it done. And I'm just gonna go with I just like where they're at. On the other side of the ball, Arizona's doing some really good things. Like Eric just mentioned, their young quarterback, he's taken a step forward. His passing it, he's done a really good job running the ball this year and taking care of the balls in general. But his passing attacks, he's probably could have been a little bit better there. But he's still young. It's only his second year. They're nicked up. They really are. If they that's another team, man. If they can run the ball, he's deadly because it just makes it that much more easier for him to read coverage and stuff. It opens up that play action for him, which is huge. But I just think they're nicked up. They're not as good as Seattle. I like Seattle. Give me Seattle all day.
I'm gonna give them to you. So, next one, it's a divisional game. We're talking the Chiefs and the Broncos. And who do you got? The Broncos, who we wrote off last week. We said, look, these guys are terrible, and they beat up on your Patriots. So
just a nail biter.
Can they beat up on the Chiefs?
Give me Mahomes, boy.
Yeah, I'm going Mahomes too.
I don't even care if they don't even start scoring till the fourth quarter. Really, Kansas City hasn't been that good all year long. Their best game was probably the first game of the year, but
yeah, they played good that first game, and then the second.
And I think Denver did play. We'll give them some credit here. They beat New England. They come out and played hard. So, and Drew Lock he's definitely better than everything else they have at quarterback there. So, anyways, just give me. Yep, definitely can't go. I can't go with Denver.
No, and even Mile High doesn't matter. It's I understand the altitude, everything else, but yeah, I think it's Patrick Mahomes. I think they have too many big weapons. If he's feeling it, if he's in the zone, it's hard to go against him. Next game, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the LA Chargers, and I'm going with the Chargers all day long.
Are you really?
Yes. Why would I pick the Jaguars?
Minshew.
No,
your boy.
I know, but I also have another boy. He's called Justin Herbert, the guy that I wanted the Chargers to draft right from the get-go at number 6.
Okay, just keep sipping that Kool-Aid, Haas.
No,
sipping the Kool-Aid.
This is, like I said earlier, the Jags won the first game of the year in a weird game against the Colts, and ever since, I've been bumping them up, and I really do think Gardner Minshew is good enough to make games close and be competitive.
He needs help, though.
He needs a whole lot of help. And they don't want to give him anything. That's the problem, too, is when you start getting some injuries in this time of year.
And their defense is young. They traded it, they essentially tore that defense. Really, they tore the whole team apart, really.
They did. And they traded everybody. They traded away Jalen Ramsey. They traded away Cleese Campbell, Ngakwe, A.J. Bouye. They traded away all these guys, right? It is what it is, right? They're from what they had for a team literally just a couple years ago when they went to the AFC Championship, there's very few players still left on that team, which is crazy to think.
It's crazy. It's mind-boggling. They just rebuilt to tear it down and rebuild again. Doesn't. That's how they got to get their shit together there.
They do.
But for sure, I'm gonna have to go with Andy. I hate to say it because part of me wants to take the Jags, but I'll go with the powder blues here. Herbert's my boy, and I did the pre-draft diddly on him, and because Eric wouldn't. Did you do a quarterback?
Yeah, I did a bunch of quarterbacks. I did Joe Burrow. Did
you actually?
Yeah, I did.
You did Burrow because I remember that.
The main thing I didn't want to do with
didn't I do Tua? I'm pretty sure I did.
I can't remember now, but we had our list. My main thing was I was worried. I knew that the Chargers were a good chance of getting him, so I didn't want to be the biased guy to look at it. I still watched tape and stuff on him before the draft, but I didn't want to be that fan. Guy. Once again, I will tell everybody, like I said before, it's not that I didn't like the guy. I thought he had potential. I thought he was a good quarterback. I was just worried about taking him 6th overall when I thought that you could probably get him later on if you traded up. But that's beyond the point. No, I don't know. I think the Chargers, even though they're still banged up, they're still missing guys. Austin Eckler's still not back. You never know about the offensive line.
We're on the Chargers.
Hopefully somebody gets it going. But yeah, I think with the Jaguars as a whole, I think they're just too bad. And this is what happens when you start getting later on in the year. The bad teams are always going to look okay at the start, right?
Well, there's always pretenders, right?
Because what you're going to have too is you have healthy teams. Everybody's going in healthy. They haven't seen your systems yet, everything else. It's when you start getting injuries and what you can replace those guys with. Now they're even more below average for the replacement players and everything else. It's
That's
bad.
An awesome fact. For me, betting, I'd like to know that.
Yeah. By the way, what Trevor's referring to is Carson Wentz is 4-0 on Monday Night Football. He's also
against Big Blue, I think, too, eh? Or is it just Monday Night Football?
It's just Monday Night Football. Or that's Thursday Night Football.
That's dumb shit that I like to know, though, people. Oh, there's Deshaun Jackson with the over. That was not a reverse. That was just a sweep.
A little end around.
Almost like a jet sweep.
Looking good.
Oh, I love
Looking good for that Eagles pick that we both had earlier. Let's hope that's
There's only one play, but we're both very optimistic.
Here we go. Literally 20 seconds into the game. Next one, Trevor's Patriots. They got destroyed. They did not look good.
Well, they didn't get destroyed, but they
got
may
their
as well
ass
have.
handed to them. The dynasty's over. Fire
It's
Bill
not over.
Belichick. It's over.
Best franchise
Tommy
ever.
left. It's all
Best franchise ever. Write it down. Deshaun Jackson. Just first 2 plays. Just giving her.
He's like, get me off. I'm done.
Yeah, I need a suck of water. We just started her, boy, but this is more action than I've seen in years.
Oxygen, for the love of God. No, but the Patriots are playing against the 49ers, and who Bill Belichick, everyone knows, wanted to be the Tom Brady replacement, which is one Jimmy Garoppolo. So who do you got, Trevor? Obviously, the 49ers laid a goose egg.
So they got something to prove this week, right?
But then last week they go out and beat the Rams.
But you got to remember, New England just lost, I believe, back-to-back games here. No, it is. Not believe. It has been. And we're going to come out and we're going to get a big W here.
Oh, the Patriots. Trevor's all over the Patriots.
We're going to win. We're going to win this week. You know, we weren't supposed to lose last week. That's how the NFL goes. I like it. Good on Denver. They outplayed us and they won. They were prepared.
I'm really tired. I'm really torn here.
I'm looking forward to like the 49ers, though. I think Cammy and the boys, they get back to what we do, and they're going to give Harris the ball a bunch. We're going to pound it. We're going to pound them. Their D-line's hurting unit. We're going to make them, we're going to earn it. You know, we're going to get greasy. We're going to win both. We're going to win in the trenches, and that's why we're going to win the game. Period.
I really want to go with the Patriots, and I'm worried. I'm kind of
the Niners. Do it.
Thinking myself here.
Do it.
The main thing is I don't believe in Jimmy G. I think he's not a great quarterback, and that's going to be the issue, I think. Yes, they beat up on the Rams last week, which is odd, but I just don't know if they can do it. Also, I don't think Bill Belichick can lose 2 in a row, like 3 in a row, I mean. Like,
it's been a long time.
To keep it up, like, it's just that's...
Actually, we might have lost 3 in a row last year towards the end of it.
You guys were terrible at the end, I guess. But,
did we? I don't know if we did. We might have, actually.
We had a washed-up Tom Brady who's terrible now. Let's just put that out there. I'm also going with the Patriots. I don't know. It's just what it is. It's just got a feeling.
Gets on the Patriot train.
I feel like maybe Kyle Shanahan gets a little worried about playing against Bill Belichick, overthinks some things. I don't know. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I think they're going to take it to the 49ers. Same thing. I don't think it's going to blow out by any stretch of imagination, but I think the Patriots kind of get on this one and win it. The late game, though, we're talking. This is just the AFC West is just nonstop over here in the second half of these games. The Raiders of Las Vegas in that Death Star looking all black stadium, they're hosting Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. So who do you get, Trevor? Do you get the Buccaneers or do you get the Raiders? This is like early 2000s. This is like the powerhouse of the early 2000s.
To be honest, I think if the Raiders had their offensive line healthy, not with COVID, I'd probably go with the Raiders here. But I'm going to go with the Bucs here just because of the fact, like I said, you can't. That's a hard thing to overcome, like missing an offensive lineman, maybe 2, not the whole thing. Ask New England how that worked out for them last week. So they were missing 2 or 3 guys on the offensive line. So it's not good. Like, I know continuity is a big thing, especially in your offensive line. So just give me the Bucs. I think it'll be a close game though.
No, I'm also going with the Bucs. I'm actually feeling the same way as Trevor. I think I might have went with the Raiders if it wasn't for this. I think they're going to have one guy out for sure. And I think there's, they might have other guys out on that offensive line. And the Buccaneers defense is too good that if you're losing pieces up there and things are, switching around out there, I don't like that. Not in this big game. That's not what I want to see. And everyone knows my opinions on, Carr, the guy, as soon as he gets some pressure on him, he goes all happy feet and he, check down. He's just, I don't know. If that guy's out there and he's playing and he's got pressure on him, it's not going to be good. So wait and see. But I'm going to go with the Bucs, even though I hate the guys so freaking much.
He hates the Raiders too.
I do hate the Raiders. I hate the Raiders. I hate both these teams. This is a terrible, terrible night game. I don't know if I want to watch a minute of it. This is absolutely horrendous. Monday night, though, we got 2 teams. They're who knows what these teams are. Okay? Can you honestly tell me what you think about these teams? Because we're talking about the Chicago Bears and Nick Foles and that whole freaking thing. And then you get the Rams. And neither one of these teams are consistent. Neither one of these teams know what they're doing. And I'm just trying to figure out what's the plan here?
Are you kidding me? Give me the Rams. Rams all day, boy. I know they lost their last game and whatever. You know, Sean McVay, sometimes they just do this, and it is what it is. But they're a lot better team than they were last year after this going to the Super Bowl. So let's give me Sean McVay. I believe. I like the Rams. I like watching the Rams. Here we go.
They're exciting. I should want to go with the Rams because, I just picked up Cooper Kupp. That's my new big receiver for my Dynasty League. But I'm going to actually go with the Chicago Bears.
Going with the defense.
Yeah, I think it's the defense. Obviously,
Nick Foles is going to do enough just to win the game.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think the
Basically
Bears are good enough.
Year.
Also, I think that's one of those teams where we haven't really talked about it. With Le'Veon Bell, that's probably where he should have went. I don't really know why he went with Kansas City. I guess it's the highest upside, but man, I think at the Bears he would have. I guess if you want to play with Patrick Mahomes or you want to play with, Nick Foles, who do you want to play with? I would probably pick Patrick Mahomes too, just to maybe get like a front row seat of what that guy's gonna be able to pull out every week. So,
well, I just think they're more of a contender, and that's why he went there. Plus, he's probably gonna get more touches because he's just gonna compete with running back. So,
I agree. So, is the game of the weekend? It's got to be Steelers Titans, right? That's got to be the game.
I think so.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good.
That's the one that really jumps out in my mind. So
there's a lot of bad games. There's not
the Bucs Raiders. Like I said, if they had the Raiders didn't just have this fiasco,
Packers
would have been a really
Texans
good game.
Be good, but because I think Deshaun Watson will probably put up like 250 yards of garbage time.
I don't know. Like they just have not been that great this year. So
they have not. I don't.
They're not as good as their record.
They've also traded away like everything. Like that's the other problem with them is they trade away DeAndre Hopkins and oh my god, they just so many bad.
Oh, you're talking about Houston.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were talking about Mahomes.
Oh no,
in Kansas City.
No, Mahomes. That's just an odd one. I really don't think they've looked that great. So
no, they haven't. They haven't looked. Their best game was probably the first game of the year, and after that, they've kind of just been going through the motions. They should have lost New England, man.
They should,
hands down. So Cam Newton playing that game.
They should have lost to the Chargers. Like
so exactly,
the Chargers blew it too. Like it's just
no. I totally agree with you.
Team, a couple little things, and that team could definitely be, looking at the other way of this and trying.
Carson in for the touchdown.
Carson Wentz, what a beaut. He's another ginger that's just out there.
He's
also, can we just talk real quick?
Quarterback.
Anyways, listen to this. I just want all your guys' opinions. What does everyone think about these stupid cartoons that Fox has rolled out for all the players that look nothing like the players?
I kind of like it.
Trevor, of course you would.
Yeah, I just think it's different.
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
I just gotta applaud it. Just change it up for you.
I think it's the thing you're gonna look back.
You hate it.
You're gonna look back at it in like 5 years and be like, "This is absolutely terrible." What was this? Not so bad as like the glowing puck for hockey, but still not a great look on the NFL and Fox. It's a look though, so may as well try to stick it out for this year. And if it doesn't work, well, switch it out for next year. I guess it's easier. Maybe you don't have to get all the guys in to be like, come sit in this room for 5 minutes and tell me like where you're from. Are they doing that still? I haven't seen that lately.
I don't think so.
That's
I think it's because of what's going on in the world.
That was my favorite. I used to love that. Just to hear where all the guys are from. That's the best. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I don't know. There's hockey's done, basketball's done.
We're waiting for the off season. I'm waiting to see what goes on with the Raptors, who they sign, who they keep, who they bring in, who they don't bring in. So I'm pretty pumped.
Can't wait for that draft.
Can't wait for the football game to start here tonight, and well, not really tonight, but this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. And,
yep, we're
just killing it.
We're
having
back.
Another good week at work.
Yeah, Trevor's just out there. He's working in a literal swamp / mud pit. He's loving it.
Shithole, huh?
It is a shithole. I keep on driving by him. Every time I drive by him, I send him Snapchats or text Cody Bowman, friend of the show, and give Cody shit about stuff. So it's funny to drive by, but it is real professional of me. It's what you can do when it's friends. But I don't know. We're back in yellow as of midnight, which is awesome for New Brunswick and Moncton as a whole. The Wildcats are back on the ice on Friday. Trevor doesn't want to go with me. He's too cool, I guess, to go to the.
Had plans, Hoss.
He's got plans. Look at this guy. What a stud. But
yeah, I'm had plans. My bad.
I'm gonna gonna go check out the game. See. It's my first game of the year. I haven't gone to any of the other games yet, so see how it is. I haven't been there yet. Kind of get a feel for everything. Kind of see how everything's kind of being operated. I don't know if I'm gonna have to wear a mask the entire time. I think you're allowed not eating, or you're allowed not wearing one if you're eating. I might just grab a giant bag of popcorn and just eat one kernel at a time.
I'm not
for the
quite
entire
sure
game.
how it fucking works, but I know when you're walking around and stuff, you've got to have one on.
and
But
that makes
I
sense.
think when you're seated, maybe not. Depends on the spacing.
That was the way, but then
They could have changed it again.
I was told that it was changed to that you have to wear it all times while sitting down. Which I'm just telling you right now, Trevor, our chirps at the referees at the games, I don't think they're going to come out as good when you get a mask. I think it's going to muffle it a little bit.
Oh, it's gonna be horrible.
Like
Like at least you don't have glasses. Like I just have like. I wish I had the defog on. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's just not good on me.
I get it for the sunglasses. When I walk out of the office, I have to wear a mask in and out of my office, and so I have the mask on. And every time I throw the sunglasses on as I'm walking out, and every time it gets me, I'm like, oh god, like that's how people with glasses have to operate all the time. This is terrible. But no, I know it's Trevor and I. If anyone's been to a Wildcats game with us, or around us, or in anywhere in that arena, you probably have heard us, whether it was the Coliseum or the Avenir Center, especially the Coliseum. Trevor and I just love chirping the refs. It's just the best. Refs,
Only when it's called for.
yeah. Well, no, we're not. Well, there's been a couple times. Trevor,
I like chirping the opposition.
it's part of the game. I don't know.
I'm ridiculous fans.
You gotta be that guy. So I don't know.
It is part of the game.
That's the joys. That's one thing I miss. I can tell you right now is just going to an arena and just enjoying watching the game. So see how it goes, and yeah, go from there. But yeah, I think it's gonna be the end of it.
That's a wrap,
That's gonna
homie?
be a wrap. Get Trevor home. It's 9:30. He's got to get up at 4:30.
I know.
So this guy is he's working. I'm not gonna be up at
Just
4:30.
a trooper, bro.
But we'll leave it at that. Oh, what's this? Evan Ingram.
That's a jet sweep to the tight end. I love it.
He's athletic.
He should be so much better. You imagine if he could block half decent?
Yeah, well,
He'd be like the ultimate tight end.
that's why people love. That's why George Kittle's on the field all the time. That's why he's getting open all the time.
That's why Bronk was beauty too.
Because
Just
they're all
a
out
physical
there
beast.
and they're blocking.
Jason Witten,
You're a
another
tight
boy
end.
that used to be sick.
You're not just
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, you're not just a receiver out there. You're a tight end for a reason. A tight end has to do both, catch and block. Get good at both. It's not that hard. It really isn't. So it's just effort. I swear to God.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Like really? Sorry, I was
Giants. You might want to look for another quarterback. This is
or a receiver. Like, look at this. Oh,
it's a little bit of a grab there.
God, man,
It's a little bit of a grab.
how is that? What in the hell is
That
that?
went both ways. That was terrible.
That was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. There's two
Oh,
guys.
they called holding on him. Thank
Yeah, I
God.
was gonna say that.
I forgot the Eagles got Darius Slay. How is he doing this year?
He's pretty good. He's the number one. So it's I don't know who. If you were like looking at a draft and you're looking at the people in the draft, I think if you just look at some guys, you're like, oh man, that guy's gonna be terrible. He like that guy. I wouldn't. Does that guy give me confidence? Danny Dimes and Mitch Trubisky both give me that feeling. Like right from the day they were drafted, like neither one of those guys gives me like the holy crap, this is a guy I can rally behind. And they're both terrible. Oh my God.
Who are the linebackers for the Eagles? Did you just see him run that far? That is ridiculous.
Man, they got the linebacker from the Stampeders that won the Grey Cup.
So they got no linebackers. What you're
They
telling
got
me.
Singleton.
Do they actually?
Yeah, man. That's him right there, number 49.
Why in the hell is he wearing 49? I didn't know he was a long. That's embarrassing. Is what that is.
That's my one. If I could have one big complaint against the CFL, that would be my big complaint against the CFL. Is that the CFL does it and they just give these guys random numbers, and I hate it. I know I've said a lot of shit about the CFL, and I love the CFL. If anybody knows me, they know I love the CFL as a whole. But there's some things that drive me nuts, and one of them is the numbers. It just kills me. That and maybe move to 4 downs. That was a conversation for another episode. But anyways,
For sure. We better shine.
anyways, yeah, we're gonna time out. Trevor's gotta get to bed. So thank you guys for listening, and until next time.
You're sticking on the ice.
Bye guys.